Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome to the Home Repairs and Solutions Show, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your authorized Amana dealer. Your host for Home Repair Solutions today is Mary Pearson. And now here's Mary.
Good morning, Gary. Thanks for that intro.
Yeah. Yes, where's Mark?
Mark has a just follow-up
Okay.
doctor's checkup or whatever, and he may or may not be here.
Oh, he could show
So,
up?
he told me he was going to try and get here, so he might be here a bit later on. Depends on how fast that doctor moves, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
He's supposed to have an early morning appointment, but, you know, who knows? We'll see. Hopefully he'll be here a little bit later on. That'd be great to have him come in. But either way, we'll just do the show no matter what.
Yes, who do we have on the show today?
Well, that's what I was going to tell our listeners about. You know, anyone that has a roof on their house, this show is for you.
Well, most people have a roof on their house.
I would hope so. We have Capstone Roofing with us here today. We have Edgis and Josh with us. They've been on the show before. They are experts in anything to do with your roof, any kind of roof and all that kind of thing. So we thought this would be a great time to have them back on the show to see maybe what you need to be doing before winter hits you. Maybe you have some things you need to have checked out or fixed or looked at. And or maybe you just have a question about the type of roof you have or what kind of roof you should have. And so they are here today to answer all those questions for you guys. So if you would like to call the show, our number here is 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. Since Mark's not here, I'm not taking text messages today, but we'll see if he shows up. But those are two numbers you can call and ask us your questions, and they'll be happy to answer them for you. And I just want to say welcome to the show. Thanks for coming, Josh. You haven't been on before.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And it's always great to have you. You always have so much information about roofs and everything. And we were kind of talking a little bit before the show. And tell us what you guys are doing now. You said you're like changing out some roofing, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, Mary, been the focus since the June hailstorm down in the southeast corner of town. We've been changing a lot of wood shake roofs over to composition, and that's been our experience, and hearing some of the reports back from our clients has been really helping out with their insurance rates, reducing fire hazards, eliminating their pest control problems with silverfish and brown recluse spiders, and many, many other benefits to it. The longevity of it, the warranties, the maintenance issues with it. So that's been a huge focus for us for the last few months.
Now those shake roofs, there for a while they were being put up everywhere. Wasn't that at one time? Wasn't that like a prerequisite, or you had to do that in certain subdivisions? They had certain specifications and stuff, and wasn't it shake roofs there for a while was like the big thing to have to do?
That's
in
correct.
Certain developments.
That's correct. There was several neighborhoods across Springfield that was a requirement, was that they used the wood shakes in their roofing materials. And since then, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all but one neighborhood in Springfield has allowed composition roofs back into the neighborhood, just simply due to the durability and the warranty specs. And composition roofing came a long ways. The cosmetic value of them is not near what it used to be when it was just the old flat 3-tab shingles.
Well, I just had to have my roof replaced down there, and Paul Davis Construction handled all that, and that's what I have is composition roofing. And I really don't know that. I know there's lots of different kinds, and I really don't know what all the differences are, but that's what I had, so that's just what they put back on. But I know a lot of people also like to go with metal roofs. I know some people that are putting metal roofs on now. What would be the advantage of that over the composition?
A lot of design factors in the home will contribute to whether or not a metal roof is cost effective or the functionality of it is proper for the roof covering. Metal was ultimately designed for barn structures and flat roof systems where there wasn't a lot of valleys.
Okay.
A lot of commercial buildings and stuff. But there is some metal roofing systems out there that are really good, and they've designed them to go into residential homes as opposed to commercial applications and farm and ranch.
I see, because I kind of like I know like out in Colorado and stuff, they have them on those log homes and stuff. They look really cool on those log homes and everything. And one of the things that I've heard about them is the snow and stuff. If you have a steep roof and have metal roof, that the snow and everything will not stay on it like it does composition. I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, with in snow and ice inhibited areas, most building codes will require you to put ice and snow cleats on the metal roofing systems, and that will keep the ice and the snow from sliding off and damaging any properties below it. But for a long time, they had a lot of trouble with ice sliding off a metal roof, so that's why they started putting the cleats in them. And you'll see them; it'll look like little tabs that are kind of staggered up along the eaves of the roof.
I see.
And that's what they're there for, is to keep the snow and ice from sliding off the roof.
I'll be darned. Okay. I always learn lots of stuff on this show. Is there any, now when you're looking at putting let's say you have an existing home, or if you're building a home or whatever, you're doing addition or whatever, are there certain types of roofing that go better on certain roof structures? Some people have really steep roofs. Some are flatter. Some are kind of in between. And I think there's hip and I don't know, there's all kinds of terminologies for them. Does that kind of dictate what kind of roofing system you need to put on your home? Or can you just any system apply to any type of roof?
Well, to answer your question, that's a multi-level question.
I'm good at those.
The type of roof is typically preferable to whoever is building the home. Roof pitch has something to do with it, but there is set standards in each different type of material to let you know, yes, that will fit on the home or not. Like composition roofing will fit on almost a flat pitch roof with a very minimal steep, as well as it'll fit on one that is extremely steep, one you couldn't stand on if you wanted to.
Okay.
So composition is probably the most versatile material out there, which is why it's used in most builder applications. Architectural shingles is, dollar for value is probably the most respected product out there, and most builders that's what they use on what they build.
Okay. And like when you have a composition, because I'm interested in my roof now, but the composition, about how long should that roof last me? Barring another fire or, major wind damage where it rips them all off and all that kind of stuff. Just under average, how long should a composition roof last? Or how often do you need to check them, or how do you know when you need a new roof? I don't know any of that stuff. So
again, you've blessed me with a multi-level question. We'll start with maintenance.
Okay.
A new roof, you shouldn't have to do very much to it. A composition roof, that is. You shouldn't have to do very much to it for the first 5 to 7 years that it's on your home.
Okay.
We advise people, once your roof gets to be about 7 or 8 years old, you should have it checked once a year.
Okay. And what are you checking for?
The biggest thing that we check for at that age of a roof is nails that are starting to back out of the shingles, the pipe boots to make sure the seals are not starting to dry rot and split. And
okay.
We check to make sure that there's not any debris accumulation in and underneath the types of valleys that you have. Those are just a few things, but there's a lot of other things that can come along with it, depending on the implements that are on the roof, what type of ventilation system you have, whether or not you have a chimney, whether or not you have skylights. All of those things have flashing systems on them, that
Sure.
can get distorted through the weather, whether snow or ice or anything through the years can distort those and start causing you problems.
Is there anything you can do, like if we have, how sometimes you'll get a lot of moisture and then you'll get really cold weather and you'll have ice, and sometimes it will start the ice will start building up and kind of accumulating, and it will back up underneath the shingle or something like that. Is there any way to keep that from happening, or is that just the nature of the beast?
In a building scenario, you can, when you're starting from scratch, you can put an ice and water shield down, which is a self-adhesive granulated membrane that goes underneath the shingles in high access points of ice damming, which would be around any of your penetrations, any of the valleys, any of the things that where you would normally see ice and snow accumulating. In a re-roof scenario, you can also put that in there. The biggest problem is that's afterthought, and a lot of folks don't think about the ice damming being a problem until after they've experienced it.
It happens, yeah.
Sure. So once the roof is put on, or it's been on for 2 or 3 years, and then you start having, then it's not very effective to go back in, tear out everything that's there just to put in the ice damming. Yeah. And it's a good product to have. It's very cost effective in a re-roof situation. But it's not very cost effective if you have to go back and put it in after the fact.
I see. It's always better to be preventative than proactive. Reactive than proactive, I guess. Or maybe I got that reversed.
No, it's
anyway.
Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
There we go. That's what I was trying to get out. Yeah. Now, you guys do new construction and you do residential and commercial, correct?
That's correct.
But do you also do repairs and maintenance and that type of thing for folks as well?
Of course.
So do you have any kind of do you offer any kind of maintenance agreements or anything, or is it just like a once a year thing, or I just really don't know how all that stuff works, and so like we have maintenance agreements for different things, but I don't know if that's pertinent to a roofing situation.
We have what is called the Capstone Care Club, and it is a roof maintenance system. It also kind of bleeds into home maintenance as well, because when we come out to look at your roof, we're not only looking at your roof, but we're looking at your siding and your guttering, and a lot of your exterior finishes. Has a lot of benefits to it. Allows you to get your gutters cleaned out, allows you to get your skylights cleaned.
That was my next question. Would you clean, because I know that is a big deal. If you don't keep those gutters and everything cleaned out, that can really cause you a lot of damage as far as your roofing and everything is concerned. And so that's something that I do not do. I do not get on ladders, and I do not get on the roof. But I did have a neighbor who was nice enough to do that for me down at the lake. And the other thing that I had done, and we talked about this a little bit last week, is it's real important not to have tree branches and stuff scraping your shingles, correct?
That's correct. You'll get a whisking effect if trees and limbs are too close to the home as the wind blows, or especially in the spring when the new leaf and the new growth comes, the limbs will get heavier and they will actually droop down closer to the roof, and it'll get a sweeping effect on the roof, and it will wear through. It'll wear the granules off of the shingles, and then it'll wear through the asphalt and create holes in the roof, and then there you have problems.
Guess who's here? We have Mark with us.
Did you say whiskey effect? Because after the morning I've had, Ellen.
Do you think you need a whiskey?
Bring it on.
Well, Mark, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here, Mary.
I just told him you may or may not be here. I didn't give out your texting information because you weren't here.
I am now.
So, okay, we have Mark with us on the show.
Yeah.
That's great. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of talking about roofs and shingles and all kinds of things, and the things that Capstone can do for their listeners. So.
I've been listening on the way over here.
Oh, that's good.
Yes,
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And that's a roof's pretty important. And I liked what you said.
If you
have a roof,
you better be listening
you better
today.
Be. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And especially this time of the year, and just like what you're saying about keeping the gutters and stuff like that, how important that is to the performance of a roof, keeping the limbs off of it, and so.
Well, I was thinking, I said if you have a roof, it's important you listen. It's even more important if you don't have a roof. You should be listening and then call these guys and get a roof. You're going to need one.
Yeah. Yep, that's for sure. So, very important. And, there's a lot of different, I heard just talking a little bit about the life of shingles, your composition roofing and stuff, and how, there used to be some subdivisions that you had to have shakes and different things in. And because of the styles and stuff, that's changed a lot because you can get composition shingles that really fit in and look good, different architectural style shingles and stuff. And roofing has come a long way in the last several years,
That reminds me of another question. Are there different, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Like, do you have is one composition shingle better than another one? I mean, are they made differently? Do you have some that are thicker than others and all that? And what's all that about?
Yes, ma'am. There's a several different, I would say, grades of composition roofing. It starts out in the baseline of what most people remember as asphalt shingles is the flat 3-tab shingles. That's the ones where you look up there and it looks like little tiles, and that was the most prominent of the time when that's how composite shingles was invented. So most people remember that.
Sure.
And, those will last anywhere from 20 to 25 years by manufacturer warranty. The real truth of the matter is that they'll last you about 14 to 16 years in Missouri climate conditions.
Sure.
If you put them in Arizona, they're going to last longer. It's just the way because they don't get near the weather patterns that we have here.
Right.
Extreme heat, extreme cold. Then the next level would be architectural shingles. Those have come a long way, even in the last 5 years. They've increased their warranty specs from 30 years to 50 years.
Wow.
So that's just over the last few years. Most people remember architectural shingles thinking, I want the 30-year. And that's what they were for years and years and years.
I see.
Architectural shingles have been around since the late 70s, but they weren't cost effective until the 80s. And then from there, builders started using them and putting them on homes in the 90s, and almost everything we do today is an architectural shingle.
I see. Okay. And colors, don't you have more color choices too than you used to, or no?
The color choices have gotten a little better, but there's still a very limited amount of colors. Most architectural shingles only have about 10 or 12 selections. But most of them are fairly universal, and they'll fit on just about any exterior, whether depending on the color of the brick or the siding or whatever is covering the outside. Then you get into the designer shingles, and those are can range anywhere from a lower end cost all the way to the highest end cost of asphalt shingles. And you'll see these on a lot of custom homes and such, just where they're trying to maintain one type of an appearance to another, whether a Tuscan design or an old world or a country setting. It's just depending on what they're trying to reach.
I see. Well, it's like most things, especially in the construction industry. There's so many more options than there were, 20, 30 years ago. And shingles is something that maybe you don't really think about a lot as far as having come a long way or changed, but I would say I suspected that they changed some, just like everything else in the construction industry. I just didn't know how much they had changed or evolved. But and then is the base layer that you put down, has it changed? Don't you have one now? And maybe I don't know where I got this, but isn't there one now that is more cushiony or something that has some sound barriers to it, or did I make that up somewhere? I was thinking that I read or saw that somewhere where instead of just a flat tar paper, don't you have something that can do something with sound now too a little bit?
If there is, it's brand new, and I'm not aware of it.
Okay.
There is several different grades of underlayment, which is what you're referring to. The tar paper or whatnot. There's the standard asphalt 15 pound or 30 pound, which is just the thickness of it. There's some self-adhesive that is out there. There's synthetics that is not made of tar at all. Those are basically plastic or a
maybe
form
that's
of
what I'm
plastic.
thinking about. Is it's plastic and not?
Now you
and what would be why would you put plastic instead of why?
Well, they made it originally to put it down in new construction settings where the roof material wasn't going to be applied for several weeks. So it was used to maintain the wood structure, keep it from getting compromised by the weather.
I see.
That was the original purpose of it.
Okay.
There
we go.
Yeah, we got a caller.
Oh, I'm not used to sitting on this side
Well,
of the table.
I'm not used to sitting over here either.
We better talk to our caller. We have Keith from Branson on the line. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning. I have a question about composition roofing. The house was built 6 years ago, and the grit off of that, the roof, gets into the gutters and accumulates in the corners and blocks everything up. And I've had it cleaned out once, and I thought, well, maybe it's done shedding its grit, and it's starting to accumulate again. How long does it take before you get rid of all that?
Well, Keith, thanks for calling in. And I appreciate your question. That's a very common question that we get, and I will tell you that you will never stop seeing the grit in your guttering. That is the normal wearing ability of the shingle. That's the reason the grit is on there, and that's how shingles wear. The misconception is that, I'm losing all my granules and my shingles are not working, or they're failing, or they're bad. The typical wear patterns of the shingles is to shed, much like a skin, if you will, to protect the asphalt base that's beneath the grit or the gravel. So seeing a little bit of that gravel year in and year out is the normal wearing pattern of your asphalt shingles. You probably saw a tremendous amount right after the roof was installed. We call that installation wearing. That's just from walking on it over the installation process, and that should have subsided into a normal wear pattern after the fact, after about the first 4 or 5 rains.
So part of my gutter cleaning is going to continue on getting that stuff out of there, huh?
Yes, sir. It shouldn't be to where you're like seeing an inch in there over a 1 year period of time, but if you was to not clean your gutters out for, say, 6 or 7 years, you would see a heavy residue build up. But if you get some really detrimental weather patterns that come through, whether it be hail or excessive winds or just repetitive pounding rains, then you should see more grit in there than you normally would over, the course of a normal wear pattern season.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, that pretty well answers my question. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Keith. Are you ready to take a break? We're about at the break time. Okay, we're going to be right back with some more home repairs and solutions, so stay with us.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. A man's body has been found in Busick State Forest. Christian County Sheriff Joey Kyle says no official confirmation has been made, but the body may be that of a Stone County man missing since Monday. Kyle says investigators used the man's cell phone to locate him. A Chadwick woman accused of murdering her ex-husband in Wyoming in the mid-1970s has pleaded not guilty. Alice Uden will stand trial in Laramie, Wyoming next February. Uden's husband, Gerald, pleaded guilty November 5th to murdering his ex-wife and 2 stepsons 33 years ago. He was sentenced to life in prison. And a Springfield businessman has been named 2013 Humanitarian of the Year. Sean Askinozy is founder of Askinozy Chocolate. He was cited for his work helping educate youngsters in the community. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
And join us for America's First News, Monday through Saturday at 6:05 a.m. on the Wall Street Journal This Morning on AM 560 KWTO.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Get the Wave Ventilation Unit. It will transform your home into a drier, healthier environment. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call 1-800-663-2681. That's 1-800-663-2681.
Way to buy your home. Money to be saved, refinancing your loan. Get a mortgage.
Hi, I'm Brad Ferris with Ferris Mortgage. You ever wondered what this reverse mortgage is all about? Tune in to my show Tuesdays at 2 o'clock on the Ferris Mortgage Hour, where I can answer your questions on reverse mortgages.
Fairest Mortgage.
I'm Dr. Norma Shee. Join me here at 2 p.m. on Thursday, November 21st, to talk about everything in the world. It's all related to your health, but especially diabetic neuropathy. 2 p.m. Thursday, November 21, KWTO.
We'll have a shower or two early, otherwise some sunshine will return for today with a high getting up to 55. A breezy night tonight with increasing amounts of clouds and a late night shower in a few spots. Low tonight 49. A bit of rain for tomorrow, very windy, and a warmer day with mostly cloudy skies, high around 70. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
It's 46 degrees at AM 560 KWTO.
Welcome back to Home Repairs and Solutions, and welcome back, Mark. And if you have questions about home repairs and solutions, particularly if you have any roofing or window or siding questions, call 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. Or if you would like to text,
you can do that by texting us at 417-838-3192, and we'll read your question on the air.
Yes, we will, because if you have that question, I'm sure someone else has the same question.
Probably so. You know, somebody said one time, they didn't want to ask it because it's a stupid question. Well, those are the ones that you need to ask.
Because that's the one that everyone has.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's one no one ever wants to ask, and they all have the same question.
They all have the same question.
So, yeah, and we can take care of that for you today.
That's right,
so
we can.
Don't be bashful.
That's right.
Give us a call.
That's right. I got a quick question on shingles. And
Okay.
I know we're going to talk about some other things.
Okay.
But back in the day when I was in the lumber business and selling shingles, they used to always say when the fiberglass shingles first came out, the fiberglass mat and stuff would, during the wintertime, I guess would get brittle. And they always said if you got fiberglass shingles, don't walk on your roof because it'll crack or break your shingles. Is that still true, or has that changed?
Well, the old fiberglass shingles aren't made anymore.
Okay.
It's kind of been a combination of, well, let me back up and give you a little shingle history.
Mm-hmm.
100% asphalt shingles was the original shingles, and
Right.
they became expensive to make.
Mm-hmm.
And so shingle manufacturers were trying to come up with a solution
Sure.
to make shingles more cost effective. So they started putting a recycled material into kind of like cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't work out very well.
Right.
The shingles were separating and ultimately not holding up the way they should have.
Mm-hmm.
So they removed the old recycled material out and they added fiberglass. Well,
Right.
that fiberglass did not wear the way that it was supposed to
Okay.
because the asphalt is what kept it from dry rotting out. So now they make a combination shingle of asphalt and fiberglass.
Right. Okay.
Which is a lot more pliable and wear friendly. So to answer your question, it's never good to walk on your roof if you don't have to.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you're gonna add more wear than you need to add to it. But walking on it when it's cold is, I guess, an old wives' tale.
Okay.
It's not ever been my experience that you're gonna cause it any problems.
Right.
Now you don't
Okay.
want to go work on it when it's below freezing, because you'll run the risk of adding cracks or splitting the
Okay.
shingles, because much like water, the material in there will actually freeze.
Okay.
When it does freeze, it does get brittle.
Get brittle. Okay.
And it's not pliable. And working on an asphalt roof, you need the shingles to be pliable.
Sure. Okay.
That was a good question, Mark.
Well, like I say, back years ago, I remember, when the old asphalt shingles actually had like a rag material in them for the mat, and that was maybe back before your time. But then they went to different things. And I remember when they tried to do the cardboard type stuff, and I remember that didn't work. But I haven't sold shingles for several years, so I just kind of was out of the loop. But I always remembered them saying, "Don't get on your roof during the wintertime; it'll break the shingles." And I didn't know if that's true or not. So
I'll be darned.
Well,
just don't work on it.
If the shingles are curling, like a lot of the old shingles would, and so when it was really cold, they would freeze, and that would make them brittle. So that particular aspect of it would be true. If they were froze and they were curled, and then you stepped on them, they would break.
Yeah.
So that part of the answer would be very true.
Right.
We have another caller with us. We have Sharon down in Stone County. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning. Do you do metal roofing?
It would very much depend on the application of what type of home that you're in, Sharon. And that would just be a case-by-case basis. There's certain types of homes that we don't recommend metal roofing on, simply due to the different applications of how the valleys and all the things would come together. So we wouldn't put any roof on that we couldn't put a minimum of a 5-year warranty on. And if we don't feel like that we can give you that kind of warranty, then we would advise you not to put a metal roof on. We would start thinking about maybe some different types of roof covering. But to answer your question, we do put metal roofs on. It is very dependent on the structure.
If it's appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon. You know, what we need to do is we need to give out contact information, because I know we're going to have some listeners that's going to want to get a hold of you guys. And so what is your phone number, or how can they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website, which is www.capstoneroofs.com, or they can call us at 417-877-0030.
Okay. There we go. We'll try and give that information out again.
And we actually have a question text in to us.
Okay.
And this is a good question, because this is something that's really common that people experience. But they say, I have a rental home with a 6-year-old architectural shingle roof. Says there is a leak in one room, but doesn't appear to be any problems anywhere on the roof. How do I find where the water is coming from? You know,
that is the $1 million question.
That is. So. The best answer that I can give them from a homeowner or landlord perspective would be, when it is raining, go in the attic.
Go in the attic.
That's going to give you, by far, the best definition of where the water is coming from. If it's in an open field and there's no penetrations around it, the water could be traveling from a long distance underneath the shingles.
Mm-hmm.
So even going in the attic and finding where the water is dripping doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to find the leak.
Yeah.
And so you guys can do that for folks?
We do leak diagnosis. Okay. A lot of times it could be as easy as just climbing on the roof with a water hose and putting one man in the attic and one man on the roof and trailing it back. So once it's wet underneath, you can find where the water's coming through on the inside and then trail it back to where.
I would say it probably never just penetrates and leaks straight down from where it's coming from, correct?
Sometimes.
Does it?
It depends on what type of leak you have.
I see.
I would add to that and just say that they said they have a leak in a room. Kind of also dependent if it's in a bathroom or a kitchen, or maybe your living room where your fireplace is. That's oftentimes the most common places where we find leaks. Or bathrooms and kitchens, typically you have some plumbing vent penetration through the roof above those rooms.
That makes sense.
And those pipe boots have worn out. Or around chimneys, oftentimes we find regularly the chimneys weren't appropriately flashed to begin with.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, I know we've talked a lot about roofing, and you guys do a lot of that, but you also do other things. You do windows. You do siding. You do. What else do you guys have to offer your clientele?
Well, we actually are also a full-service construction company. We do everything from minor repairs such as drywall, or all the way up to seamless home additions and some ground-up construction as well. So yeah, we try to handle most anything that anybody gives us a call with, other than heating and air or large plumbing endeavors or large electrical endeavors.
Sure. So what is going on, or what can you help people out energy-wise? You know, energy savings, and especially in the wintertime, you know, people will oftentimes, to try and stay warm and comfortable, you'll see an increase in your utilities. We have stronger winds, they're colder, we have all these issues that can create higher utility bills. What kind of things can you do to help folks out with managing that a little bit?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, just a visit to your house to kind of check out the age of your windows, the age of your doors, what kind of insulation, how your insulation's doing in your attic. It'll compress over time, and you could use a new layer or so. Sometimes folks they recommend an R30 value insulation in your attic, which is about 18 inches deep. Oftentimes that'll compress, and just coming in and putting in just a little bit more in will help out. It depends on the budget. If folks really want to get serious with it and start to replace some things such as windows or entry doors from the exterior, we would love to do that, and that's what I recommend the most. However, if you're kind of on a limited budget, sealants, weather stripping, things of that nature are going to go a long way.
It's kind of amazing how just adding a little bit more insulation makes a huge difference.
Well, most folks can even, I find newer homes, I can go to their windows and doors around these seasons and just put my hand up around them and feel cold air
drafts,
coming in. You bet.
Drafting and stuff.
You bet.
So if someone has an issue or has maybe they need to do something, they're not sure, what would be the best way. Let's say they have, I don't know, just for fun, $5,000. Just pick a number and say, okay, we got $5,000 in reserve. We want to try to make our house a little more efficient. But they're not sure the best way to spend that $5,000. Do you guys come out and just kind of look around and kind of direct them on what would be the best bang for their buck to say?
Certainly. I can say that if a person does have $5,000 and they live in a home that's 12 to 1,500 square feet, with $5,000, a person could very likely replace every window in their house as well as both of their entry doors and have all their windows and doors Energy Star certified.
Is there still some rebates available for that kind of thing? There was for a while. Are they still going on?
They do. It's kind of it's circumstantial, depending on what exactly it is or what windows you use, how they're rated, things like that.
Okay. That's another question. Is when do you know that it's okay to just recaulk and reseal something, or if it needs, like your windows? When do you know if caulking is going to fix it, or if you actually need to replace it?
Windows, especially if you have an old, what they call a sash type window, which it is a wooden frame window that is what they call a single hung window, where just the bottom functions, you're able to lift it up and close it. Typically, those windows are out of date, and I mean, you can add some sealants, but ultimately you should replace those windows. And it's pretty, like I say, it's fairly economical to replace some windows. You can get mostly everything you need from a window, and from kind of an entry level. I don't want to say low end, because it really isn't. They have all the qualities of some of the higher end windows, but you can. Right now we're able to typically replace a not unusual window for about $320, and that's the labor and window included.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have another caller. We have Gloria in Springfield on the line. Good morning, Gloria.
Hi, Mary. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, listen, I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
I was told from the guys, you guys installed a new furnace and air conditioner.
Yes, we did.
And they said my crawl space is very clean, it's very dry, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder if I should have my pipes insulated, and if I did, a foam or regular insulation.
Underneath your home?
Yeah. Would it, I mean, my utility bills are pretty low, But, I mean, should I do it or not? I mean, it's pretty tight.
I personally, sending someone in there just to look at it, especially in the springtime, look around. When it starts getting warmer outside, if your pipes are sweating a lot, that would typically mean you would have to do some insulating, or your crawl space wouldn't be vented appropriately, and it's getting a little too damp down there. But I would say that it's a case by case basis to go under there and have a look, or have someone come out and have a look. Oftentimes, if you're noticing a lot of moisture buildup on your pipes themselves, it would be time to insulate.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
With my new heating and air conditioning, and I did this, I think you guys installed it in August, and the first winter, like before December, one thing I noticed, and I don't understand this, and I know you didn't put me a humidifier in there, but my windows kind of steam up where they never did before. Does that mean my house is too tight, or what is that? I mean, they kind of steam up. 2 days ago, they were steamed up almost all day.
Your windows were?
Yeah, and I got Anderson windows, and I never had that before. And Nathan was out here; he didn't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you notice whether they clouded up on the inside of your house or on the outside?
It's on the inside.
You can run your finger along the glass and get moisture onto your finger.
Right. And they never did that before, but you think there's, for some reason, too much humidity in the air? I mean, I'm the only one who lives in this house.
Yeah.
2,500 square feet.
What are you keeping the thermostat on in there?
66.
66. Same all the time, eh?
Well, I don't want any higher. That's
9 times out of
20
10.
warm. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 times out of 10.
Maybe my house is too cozy. Maybe it's just put on 65.
Oh my goodness, I'd
boy.
freeze to death.
Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, when
I
you
don't understand
experience
why I only gotta
condensation
have
on your
66.
windows, it's usually something else besides the windows. It's normally not the windows causing the problem. If you do a lot of excess cooking, if you have a lot of plants in the house, and maybe putting that new furnace in for some reason. Who knows? There's more moisture in there than what used to be. It's more efficient. That'd be kind of my guess.
So your air inside your home isn't as dry.
My air is dry.
No,
it's not as dry as it was before.
Okay.
You're maintaining more of the heat in your home than you were before because your furnace is more efficient. So more heat is staying inside your home than before.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I even keep it lower? I mean, I can't keep it very high. It's not just me. I mean, of course, I'm the person, if it's a cold day outside, I don't wear a T-shirt. I wear a sweat top inside.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That only makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe my house is more energy efficient, and I don't know.
Could be. Well, if you got low utility bills, then...
I do.
Yeah, so...
For 2,500 square feet.
Not sure. Not sure why they're sweating.
174. You think that's pretty low?
Yeah, I do.
I know.
So
I don't know if that's one thing. But I'm going to tell you guys, you're right about the roof. When I bought this home, my daughter's in real estate. She sold it to me. I said, I don't like the corner lot, and I don't like the shake roof. And I had problems with that. The squirrels love the shake roofs.
Oh, yeah.
They love to eat into them, and all the, what do you call those things? Those little bugs and little...
Oh, the silverfish.
Silverfish.
Yes, ma'am.
And anyway, I had my roof redone and everything else, and so I've not been bothered with them.
that's good.
I know.
That's
And
good.
I would not buy a shake roof home, believe me. Now, I didn't want to buy this one. Last roof I put on a shake roof was $25,000, but that was paid for by the insurance. It was over in Spring Creek.
Yeah.
You know where that's at?
Yeah.
That was when that hailstorm and everything else came through. Everybody was getting a new roof.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mary,
yeah.
well, listen, I'll let you go. But I just didn't know. So I got a more high-energy furnace.
Yeah, I mean,
I have
you're
more moisture in my house.
You're keeping, Yeah, I would say the air is warmer because of the new furnace because you're not losing so much heat. So I don't know if that's an issue or what. Not sure where to find out I'm not sure where to find the answer, Gloria, but we might try and figure out something for you before the next show.
Nobody did. Nobody really knew. I mean, they've been here. They saw it. But, it's not on today,
Yeah.
It's only when
it's just sporadic.
Right.
Okay.
It's sporadic.
Well, thanks, Gloria. Thanks for calling. I don't know.
Well, we've seen some very unique situations with windows condensating. Probably one of the most unique was we found an aquarium that was set up next to a window, and for many visits we could not figure out why the windows kept condensating the way they did, and it was the fish bowl that was causing it in the aquarium.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, there can be all kinds of things that cause that. I'm not sure I know. We get that once in a while, and it's not consistent, so it's not usually consistent. It's like, it does it every now and then or whatever. Once in a while, my windows do down at the lake because of the difference in the lake temperature and the temperature inside the house.
Sure.
And so if you've got warm and cold air, if it's pretty warm, and you've got it meeting there, then sometimes my windows will do that, but it's not all the time.
I mean, look, we've had, down in the 20s part of this week. Tomorrow we're supposed to be up about 70.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It keeps your house just constantly going different
Ozarks
directions.
weather.
It's a good old Ozarks weather. You're exactly right.
We have one more caller. We have John on the line. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
The lady that just called in.
Yeah.
I might have a couple suggestions for her.
Okay.
First of all, she might check and see what her humidity level is in the house. But I had the same problem, and I ended up putting down 3 or 6 mil plastic in my crawl space, and all the water and that was on the windows disappeared almost overnight.
Yeah. I think we've actually talked about that on the show one other time about if you have a lot of moisture and then you close the vents because it's wintertime, you close them down and then that moisture wicks up, and so that was a good that's a possibility.
She could check that. She may need a dehumidifier, but when I put the plastic down the crawl space, that took care of all my problems.
Okay.
I'll let you go. You have a good day.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the information.
We, on our new houses that we build, we try to do that now because, it does help for sure.
And some people, I mean, you can have someone in their house here, their crawl space is dry, but maybe 2 lots down it's not.
It's not
because of the way the water runs and all that kind of stuff. So there could be a number of reasons for that.
Oh yeah,
that could be one of them for sure.
Yep,
for sure.
Yep.
Okay, guys, we're going to run out of time, and so before we do, I would like for you to give out your information again, how people can contact you, and if they have any questions about their roof, their windows, their siding, it's whatever it is, they can give you guys a call. And how can they do that?
Sure. Many different ways to get a hold of us. Obviously, calling us is one of the quickest ways. That's 417-877-0030. They can join us on Facebook, and that is ask us any questions on Facebook and get an answer there, or see some of our deals that we're running through just in the Facebook community. Also, they can go to our website, which is www.capstoneroofs.com, and they can follow us there as well.
In today's all this communication stuff we have, I mean, it's hard not to find somebody.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
What do you got going on this weekend, Mr. Mark?
Tomorrow out at River Bluff Fellowship, where we have our bluegrass meetings, they're celebrating their 10th anniversary out there, their 10-year birthday. So they're going to have a big deal all day and a chili supper tomorrow night, but they asked if I'd provide a little bit of bluegrass entertainment tomorrow night. And so I got the band coming out. We're going to play 3 or 4 songs between the talent show.
And what time is that?
I think it starts about 3 tomorrow afternoon, but we'll probably play about 7, I guess, somewhere along in there. So just a fun day out there, and those folks are so nice, and so looking forward to bringing the band out there.
There you go.
So that's my weekend.
There you go. Well, I'm going to go with my girlfriend. I think we're going to go to the landing.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So that might be.
Yeah.
We might get in trouble down there. You never know.
Might do
you
it.
never know.
Uh-huh.
And then Sunday, I want to say hi to my good friend Tim. He listens to the show every Friday, and he's going to come over Sunday. And I think we're finally going to get that boat winterized.
All right.
It's been a struggle.
Oh, sounds fun. So.
Yeah. Thanks to Tim, it'll probably be done on Sunday.
Yep. Well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday morning right here from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO. We'll see you next week.